Okay. There we go. Now y'all can hear me. All right. We're about to get into Draymond Green, what he said about the Cleveland Cavaliers. Basically, he said, and you can get this article from SBNation.com. They're reporting this. I'm pretty sure BleacherReport.com is also reporting this as well. But Draymond Green said basically the Cleveland Cavaliers didn't stand a freaking chance of beating them in the NBA Finals last year. Now, the proof is in the pudding. The Cleveland Cavaliers, out of the series between the Golden State Warriors, they managed to get one win on them. And you have to understand, there was a lot of scenarios put in place on why the Cleveland Cavaliers won the NBA Finals 2 years ago. Okay, Draymond Green was suspended in a critical game. Steph Curry wasn't Steph Curry. And they didn't have they didn't have Kevin Durant, even though they beat the Golden State Warriors beat the Cleveland Cavaliers without Kevin Durant, and a lot of other factors plagued the Golden State Warriors. And you also have to give it to Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving hit that big shot that ice and put away the game. LeBron James, the block was historic. Okay, so it seems like everything was at its pinnacle with the Cleveland Cavaliers on them beating the Golden State Warriors 2 years ago, and those same scenarios and those same situations did not transpire last year. Okay, a smaller bench. Basically all you had on the offensive end was Kyrie Irving and LeBron James. Kevin Love was here and there. J.R. Smith, he's a streaky shooter, but in the series he couldn't manage to do anything. Okay, and there was really nothing there on the bench. All right, now the Cleveland Cavaliers, every time they put Darren Williams in, that was like blood in the water for the Golden State Warriors Sharks. Okay, Darren Williams is a much older player, a slower player, and by putting him on the court, he couldn't keep up with Steph Curry. He couldn't keep up with Klay Thompson. So who is he going to defend? Okay, so that's why you have a lot of wholesale changes with the Cleveland Cavaliers this year, hoping that these moves, these decisions would catapult them in beating the Golden State Warriors. And I feel like even with all of these additions, and they also subtracted Kyrie Irving out of the equation, even with all the decisions that they made, and they were good decisions as far as J.R. Smith and Christian Thompson, they're going to be coming off the bench, which to me, that's a plus for the Cleveland Cavaliers, because since J.R. Smith is streaky, you don't want him necessarily starting. You got Dwayne Wade, and you're going to put Kevin Love in the 5 position, so you're pretty much hiding and isolating Kevin Love, you know, to where you really don't necessarily need Kevin Love to give you points. Okay, so you got all of those factors plaguing, and these decisions are supposed to be very beneficial for the Cleveland Cavaliers. All right, I still think at the end of the day, they still don't have enough to beat the Golden State Warriors, but they can give them their money's worth. I think they can win. I know for a fact they can win more than 2 games, or more than 1 game last year. I think they can take them all the way to a game 6 or to a game 7. But at the end of the day, you got an older Dwayne Wade. What I saw from preseason from Dwayne Wade wasn't really that impressive. All right, it was good, wasn't impressive. You got Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose, back, if Derrick Rose can be the old Derrick Rose of the Chicago Bulls, that will be very beneficial for the Cleveland Cavaliers. But Derrick Rose is not going to be that player. Okay, he's going to be less athletic, and I hope he worked on his touch around the basket. His free throws, his jumpers, things of that nature. He was primarily a slasher. But when people get older, they always add more to their resume. Particularly when you're getting older, you can't continue to think that you can still slam the ball down the hole and be athletic. So there are some things that Derrick Rose is going to have to fix and have to work on. And I'm pretty sure he did. From what I saw from the New York Knicks when Derrick Rose played for the New York Knicks, it was decent and it was good. But is it championship level good? I'm not 100% sure. Okay, I don't think so. Okay, Kevin Love, by putting him at the 5, you don't necessarily have to worry about him defending the opposite team's best power forward. And the NBA is a smaller league now. You really don't need a dominating power forward or a center to thrive and flourish to get an NBA championship. Small ball is what everybody is doing. And with J.R. Smith on the bench, he's in his natural spot to me, because he was so streaky as a starter. Now, J.R. Smith is feeling a little salty because he feels like he should get the nod for the starting position. And he will get, there's going to be games where he's going to actually start, particularly when you're resting Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade is not the same Dwayne Wade with the big three, with LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and himself, or even when he was paired up with Shaquille O'Neal. He's a downgrade, and you basically got Dwayne Wade for his leadership presence, okay? His experience, particularly in the playoffs and in the championships, and he can still score points, all right? He scored 20 with the Chicago Bulls. So it shouldn't, if Dwayne Wade at least scores 15 points with the Cleveland Cavaliers, that's good. That's good in a sense, okay? Even though he has the capability to score more, but if he can squeak by and score 15 or 17 points, that is good for the Cleveland Cavaliers, okay? I think by putting Kevin Love at the 5, you're going to get more production out of him, okay? Because he's going to be stretching those power forwards and centers to get away from the basket. And if they don't, he's going to kill them with his perimeter game, okay? So that's a plus, okay? The bench is a lot better this year than last year. That's a plus as well. But with all being equal, when you finally start matching them up with the Golden State Warriors, Dwayne Wade is probably going to match up with Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson is a stand-up shooter. He shoots jumpers. He rarely slashes to the basket. I'm not saying he can't, but that's not his focus, particularly on the offensive side of things. So with that type of player, Dwayne Wade can pretty much just stay in front of him and keep up with him. All right. LeBron James clearly going to get Kevin Durant, and when he was guarding Kevin Durant by himself, he was getting scorched. So LeBron James is going to have to put in more effort and probably waste a lot of his energy guarding Kevin Durant. All right. And Steph Curry, you can have Isaiah Thomas if he comes back this season, or Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose is not known to be a defensive dynamo, but as long as he can stay in front of him, your chances are pretty decent. Okay, so and Draymond Green and Kevin Love, they're probably going to be that's a pull. I mean, it really doesn't matter what Draymond Green does on the other side, and it really doesn't matter what Kevin Love does on the other side. It is what it is. Okay, so that's the situation. I feel like Draymond Green is right. You might as well say they swept the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cleveland Cavaliers really had no shot in beating the Golden State Warriors last year. And, you know, it is what it is. It's just one of those situations. They didn't have enough ammunition when it was time, okay? A lot of the things that worked for them 2 years ago, it didn't pretty much work for them this year, all right? And, well, last year, okay? And plus the factor of J.R. Smith, you really couldn't depend on his production because it was on, it was off. Kevin Love, he had some sparks in certain games in the NBA Finals, but he couldn't put anything together for a long stretch. They doubled Kyrie Irving, and LeBron James, now teams are figuring out that, LeBron James wants to be, he's not an aggressive type, well, I'm going to take the ball and take it down low. He's more of trying to make the right play, putting the right player in the right situation. And I feel like that's going to haunt LeBron James this year if he doesn't change some nuances about his game. But teams now know, look, chances are LeBron James is not going to take it to the hole because he doesn't want to take the and one or the final shot. Okay, he kind of scares away from that, and now teams know that because everyone has film on LeBron James. Yes, there are players on there. There's players he could pass it to. Kyle Korver, Derrick Rose, Isaiah Thomas, Dwayne Wade, Kevin Love. Okay, he's got several people he can throw it back to, and it's going to be up to those individuals to make that last second shot. I feel like you're getting Dwayne Wade a little bit later in his career, okay? So they're going to have to wait and see how this works out, okay? I still think they're going to be the beast of the East. They're going to win the East, but they're going to have a hard time dealing with the Golden State Warriors. I still think they can carry them to a Game 6 or a Game 7, and then the rest, we'll see if they win it or not. And as long as Draymond Green keep his nose clean and doesn't find himself in trouble, like he did 2 years ago, he could be very beneficial for the Golden State Warriors, and they may beat the Cleveland Cavaliers yet again. Okay, and we're just gonna have to wait and see. But guys, tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. Please, notification squad in the building. Hit that notification icon, that notification bell, so it'll let you know when my next video or live stream is going down. It's your boy. I'm Chris the Don One, and I am out.